I have the culinary herbs that we're using, not this one, but the ones that we're using are up here on the table in front of me today. And Josh from Sushi was kind enough to raid his garden today for us as well. So we've got tons and tons of time. Actually, we only have an hour, so I'm going to move on. We have two different kinds of parsley. We have Italian parsley, which is a flat leaf parsley, and then we have a curly parsley. And both of them are equally nice and pungent. I'm going to be using the Italian parsley tonight. The thyme I've used in the nuts. I guess you could taste the thyme in the nuts. The rosemary I also used in the nuts as well. Here's the mint, which is made in the syrup, which you guys tasted. You can infuse any herbs you want to and make fabulous syrups. You can do them. You can make any kind of syrup you care for. You can add to that mint. You could add lemon zest to it. It's really, really nice. It's a wonderful thing to make during the summer. Tons of fun. And then we have sage here, and I've used sage in the bread. We're making bread knots, and we'll go ahead and get started. Who's got an herb garden? What do you have in it?
I have thyme, chives, oregano, sage, parsley, and no basil? Basil, yes, and basil.
Well, I had to, that sounds wonderful. You eat off of it pretty much all year, right? Well, at least during the summer.
Right.
This I had to pull out of the produce department. This just came in, and this is a beautiful basil. And you guys need to just come up and put your nose in these things if you're not familiar with them. They're just amazing, and they just add so much dimension and depth to your cooking. So we're going to begin, and I think what I'm going to begin with is the bread. I want to show you guys how to do these bread knots, because I think they're just really cute. So we're going to do bread knots. And then we'll move quickly to chicken. I've been just cooking all day. Okay. I don't really need to do this, but I'm gonna. All right, so what I'm gonna do is, with a nice clean cutting board, specialty cheeses, bakery deli, as you can see above. I'm just going to dust it just a little bit with flour, not too much. Then Pillsbury French bread. Okay, just right down in where the biscuits are. I don't think we have a French bread ourselves. Food City, I don't believe, does. But you can also make these with pizza dough. Lots of times you can make these breadsticks with pizza dough as well. God bless you. All right. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the middle. I'm going to make 8 little rolls. Bless you, honey. roughly all the same size. Get a piece of plastic wrap. And I'm going to cover them as I work these. And I'm going to go back and forth working the bread and then working the chicken. Okay, so what I want to do is I just want to make these, I make these my own. So I want to get all the Pillsbury off of it. What I've done, and I just love this too, is I made a compound butter. And this compound butter is awesome. It's you can do it with walnuts or pecans, and I used pecans tonight. Olives. We call for kalamata, but we didn't have them up here. So in order to save Food City some money, I just used our stuffed olives. So we have stuffed olives. We have, so you'll see a little pimento. You'll see a little pimento in the dough.
But the olives are not chopped.
Oh, I've chopped them. I've chopped the jiggers out of them with my little food processor. Okay. And I want to cover them so they don't get dried out. Now, your herb garden, do you have a design for your herb garden, or is it just?
I have it in 3 or 4 different spots. I used to have them all together, and that's hard. I think that's harder.
Is it?
So I have them in about 5 different pots.
Ah.
And I also, another one that I forgot to mention is dill, and that's okay.
Oh gosh, dill is wonderful.
Even just to bring a little bit of that in the house makes the house smell so fresh.
I know, it does. And I actually, it's funny because you can, I've done this a lot, just do a simmering herb thing in the winter especially, because we have a wood stove. So I just put a pot on top of the wood stove and put some water and dried herbs, because that's what's available then. And it's just really nice. And again, with lemon rind, and just make my own kind of potpourri. How's your friend doing? Yeah? She okay? I mean, she...
Well, she had surgery and she's doing chemo and radiation.
Okay. Just wanted to check in. All right. So now I'm going to start the chicken. I'm doing the chicken tonight, and I'm doing the rolls. In the back is the nuts, and you guys have all had the nuts, and the mint syrup. And simple syrup is nothing but a cup of sugar and a cup of water. Okay? So you put that in a pot, and you put it on the stove, and you get the sugar melted, and then you throw in your handful of herbs. You throw in a big handful of herbs, and you don't let it bubble, you don't let it boil. You just let it simmer just a little bit, and then you move it off and let it sit. And just let it sit and sit and sit, and then the longer it sits, those volatile oils infuse into the simple syrup. And then you have a really nice base for a mojito, or you can use that as well. You can do that with milk. You can infuse milk with herbs as well, for if you want to do like a icing, or if you want to do a cake or anything, you can infuse milk with herbs as well. Really, really good. Okay, so I'm going to start the oven. I'm going to start it on 400. Okay. All right. Now, what? Now I'm going to do the chicken. We're going to do chicken. And, of course, I'm using chicken thighs because they're my favorite. They just have more flavor to them than the breast does. But you guys at home can do anything you want because it's your tummy and your money. So. But for me, I like the thighs. And we use the thighs a lot. The thighs are actually less expensive, so they get used a lot. I have tongs. I have two different tongs. One for the raw chicken, and then one for cooking, so I can flip them. So I don't, just make sure you keep them far enough away so you don't get cross-contamination. This is this little Pyrex dish up here is for me to take out the chicken that's partially cooked in this pan, and I'm going to put it in here and then finish off the batch. And then I'm going to put it in the oven. So we're going to pan roast in the oven. Make sure you have a very, very good set of these because you're going to be pulling this out of a 400-degree oven. This out of a 400-degree oven. So hopefully you have like a, like I have one of my skillets has an insulated, so I can actually pick it up and move it off. Okay, so you guys, while I'm waiting for pans and pots to heat up, what's your favorite herb to cook with? Basil?
Parsley, I think.
Parsley? What do you make with parsley?
I just put it in a lot of things. It gets good, tastes good, and it gives good color.
Do you use flat leaf or do you use curly?
I've used both.
You use both? Which one do you prefer?
It just depends.
Okay, whatever's available, whatever you get.
Last year I grew herbs, but this year I didn't, and parsley grows like crazy.
It does, and it comes back, which I'm really happy, and so does chives, so that makes me really happy. Do you use herbs? What do you do?
Parsley.
Parsley? What do you do with parsley? Spaghetti? Okay, that's good. You guys use herbs back? You guys use herbs at all? You guys are. I know you do because you have a garden. What's your favorite?
It's according to what I'm fixing, but anything tomato based, I think has a good flavor added with basil.
Basil.
If it's a tomato based, basil is the choice.
That's true. That's very good. Yeah, I do that too. I use old Martha Stewart recipe for my spaghetti sauce, and it's just basil and red pepper and garlic. That's it. Now, rosemary is a wonderful herb. This rosemary, okay. So rosemary, what you can do with rosemary, and I've done this before tons and tons of times. It's so woody, and it's so fragrant. What I do is I strip off half of the leaves, and then when I'm doing a pork roast, I'll skewer the pork roast with the whole shebang here. It keeps the pork roast together, and it flavors the pork roast with the rosemary, and it is awesome. It is awesome.
Rosemary is also good with most vegetables.
Rosemary's.
All the root vegetables and the squash and the zucchini is really added.
That's a great idea. I have the quick squash orzo salad in the back on the table already, and I used basil. I used pesto on that, store-bought pesto and lemon juice and alphabet noodles because I wanted to instead of the orzo. But you guys do whatever you want. So, all right. So. This is Two Bros self-rising cornmeal mix because we didn't have regular cornmeal mix. We didn't have regular cornmeal, except very expensive Bob's Red Mill. So I'm just using regular cornmeal mix. I'm also using white because it's what I grabbed. Okay. So I just do this. Okay. So now, this is an Asian trick. But what I'm going to do is add some cornstarch to this. What this does is make the crumb on the chicken very crispy, and it's an Asian thing, and people do it. They do it with stir fry a lot. And so cornmeal just has a really nice crunch to it that I like a lot. Okay, again, now these are chicken thighs. And to save my hands, I'm going to use the tongs. Okay, so first I'm going to do is I'm going to salt and pepper them in the tray. The chicken thighs, the boneless, skinless chicken thighs in the tray. I'm using original mixed up salt, Jane's Crazy mixed up salt, because again, I like the crunch. I like the crunch of this. I like the flavor of it. So I'm just going to give that a go there. Salt and pepper.
What kind of salt did you use?
This is Jane's Crazy mixed up salt. You can get this down in the down in the baking department where we have the herbs, and it's got salt, herbs, spices, onion, and garlic, and so it's a really nice something else besides just salt and pepper. And it's got, again, it has a really nice crunch to it. Jane's Crazy mixed up salt. And you know, whenever we get ready to, when we get ready to eat or after we finish eating or whatever, you guys can come up and take a look at the ingredients. So you can get an idea of what it is that's going on. And so you new guys that have never been here before, just to let you know, I rarely follow recipes, even in the class. So most everyone knows that by now, but so I will change it up. I will change it up. Okay, so now I've got 3 chicken thighs, and I'm going to kind of press the cornstarch into those chicken thighs. And so now I've got the bone side up, and I'm going to salt and pepper that. Okay. Now, I've got this up on medium-high, and I'm going to go ahead and add this. I'm going to add this. I'm going to put the chicken in the skillet, cornmeal side down. And while these are cooking, it takes like 8 to 10 minutes to cook those. I'm just browning them. I'm just browning them, and then they're going to go into the oven. So I'm going to set a kitchen timer for 6 minutes, I think. Okay. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and keep working on the bread. I'll move this over.
So you only coat one side?
Yep. You don't have to. You can cut both sides if you want to. That's just, I'm going to put it skin side down in the pan to go into the oven, so that kind of crisps up the other side as well. But you can do whatever you want. It's a really wonderful coating for chicken. All right, so what I'm going to do is start rolling these out, rolling the bread out. And what I want to get is like 2 hand widths. Anyone here ever make bread knots? Never made bread knots? Okay, good. As you see, what happens if it doesn't rest, it springs back. So you want to just make it so it doesn't spring back. And I'll let them rest again. I saw a French chef do this. That's how I know how to do it. The other tongs. Well, those came out really nice. You know, I made those crepes for my client. She loved them. I made it with the last class for you guys that were here. It was I made a breakfast lasagna with egg and cream cheese crepes instead of noodles. Very low carb. Well, very low sugary carb. And so that was fun. So I had made little ones for her with mushrooms and bacon. There's 2 hand whips. I'm going to keep covering these as I go. See, I don't have any more flour on the board. I'm just using I don't mind using somebody else's bread dough. I do like making my own bread dough. But if I make bread, I eat it all. So I don't do bread. The people that came to my last class know that this one is watching her bread. You missed that class. So this is a really nice thing to do while you're waiting for your chicken to cook, because I'm going to let it rest again. So it'll be easy to knot in just a few minutes. So these are roughly the same size all the way across. And these are all pretty nice and brown. I'm going to put this in the Pyrex in front of me here to rest while I carry on cooking more chicken. Okay. Who's going to the race? Anybody? Oh, big doings around here. Nope, not me.
I went to the Greek Festival though Saturday, and I recommend, they do it every year, I recommend that everybody go next year.
What is it? Greek Festival?
Greek Festival.
Sounds wonderful.
Where was that? Down, just off the parkway, close to Buck City, like, close to East, in the little past Egypt Road, you'll see it, it's the Greek Orthodox Church. And they, it was their 4th year, and it was fantastic, and they have a lot of their own
Foods.
It's like a menu. Yeah.
Right. You really have to Facebook friend me so you can tell me about these things when they happen.
Well, it really was nice. They had a lot of entertainment. They had a lot of things to enjoy.
All right, this is the last batch of thighs going. Was it? I don't read the newspaper. I read the BBC. I read BBC News.
Well, they do it every year, so, and this was their 4th year.
Does anyone have any questions so far? This is the second batch of chicken thighs going in. Everyone can see above me, right? Okay. All right, so these are going to cook, and I'm going to change gloves again and go back to the bread.
They had a nice olive bread.
Oh, yeah. They do make, those, yeah. Oh, those Greeks and their olives. Yum, yum. All right, so as you can see, I already have some that have been sitting around in the fridge, just waiting for me to love them again. Now, this bread, in order to make a knot, what you want to do is you want to take 2 fingers like that, all right, and then you just bring it around, bring one around like that, and bring the other one around like that, and it makes a nice little knot. You see that? So that's cute. I don't need it. Don't need it. I'm fine. Okay. These are getting nice and brown. What a nice. See, what happens with the cornmeal on this chicken is it becomes like a skin. Okay? Because this is skinless and boneless, so this becomes like a skin. Saves a lot of the moisture. Now I'm going to do a double knot on this one. So what I want to do is I want to make this like a three hand width and take it in half like that, and let's do one side and make a knot. Then do the other side and make a knot. And you have a nice little double knot. Looks kind of like a dog biscuit. So knots are pretty easy. You don't have to make a knot, of course. You can just keep the rolls the way they are. But I like knots because all this good stuff in the butter goes sinking into it. Yeah. I turn them both under.
Okay, that's easy.
Uh-huh. All right, so I'm going to leave these chicken thighs in this pan. Put these chicken thighs in the pan. Bone side down. And these get slammed into the oven. And those are going to go in for 17 minutes at 400. And you guys mess with it when you get home. You're just making a knot. I mean, and you're just tucking in the bread. It's incredibly forgiving. I tried to make a bow tie, but that didn't work. It just looked like an elephant. So I just moved on. I've got 2 more. And see, these didn't rise at all while they were in the refrigerator. They will rise some when they get into the oven. So this is the butter. And again, this is olives and sage and what else goes in this? Olives and sage and what else did I put in here? Garlic, yeah, and black pepper, and I use pecans instead of. So I did, but I did toast the pecans, so that's pretty nice. And I'm cheating the garlic. I'm cheating the garlic because up here it goes to garlic scapes really easy. Garlic scapes is whenever the shoots come out. That's called a garlic scape. And you can eat them. They're very good. Okay. So this has been sitting around in the fridge. Now, this is, I've made that into a roll. I made another one. So this is nice and hard. And you can slice this, you know, and you can drop it into your green beans or anything. It's just super, super good. It lasts for a long time. Long, long time. So I'm just gonna smear this butter on top of these nuts, and I might put some more on after too. I don't know. It's just. And I'm gonna want to reduce this oven as soon as this chicken comes out. Because I want to get these garlic knots in. And I don't want them to turn out to be, you know, raisins. I don't know if you guys saw my Facebook page, but we're not doing anything that I said we were going to do on the Facebook page, except for this. We were going to do, because we tried it at home, a thyme, mint, cream sauce on top of fettuccine with chicken. And I just decided that was way too exotic for Southwest Virginia. We'll do that another time if you want. Okay, so now there's a goodly bit of butter and herby madness on top of all of the rolls. And I'm just going to let them, I'm going to cover them and just let them hang out while I finish the chicken. Yeah, the compound butter is really simple with a food processor. You can do anything. You know, you can make anything you want to with the compound butters. I've made cheese straws with compound butter. I've made it with. I used red wine and rosemary and sharp cheddar. That was great. It made a wonderful cheese straw. So, you know, anything that you use butter on, you know, you can make a compound butter and just make it a little more, it's something, you know.
It's hard to buy cheese straws because they don't really fit that
No, they're icky. Or the coins, you know, the little cheese coins. They're so easy to make and so much fun. And, but no, you don't, no, they're kind of nasty. You really just want to make them yourself or have somebody make them for you. This past weekend, I was working a pool party, and we did a lot of grilled vegetables, and this is a lot of fun. So I'm going to show you how I chop my zucchini for things like that salad back there and for the grill. Okay, so this is yellow squash. And it depends on what you're doing, and it depends on the size of the grates that you're using. But typically, if you do chunks like this, you see that? So that sits on a grate. So you can grill zucchini. You can grill zucchini, and you can grill summer squash, just like that. And if you want to, for like that salad back there, because the pasta, the noodles are small, I actually just chopped it just a little bit more and went through the saute. But it just gives an interesting shape. there's that. Now for the sauce, these are chives, and this is the Italian parsley. You guys probably do this already though, but I'm going to show you anyway. So you just rudely rip the parsley apart. And pizza cutter. Okay, so this is how you can get chives done pretty quick. Okay, just use your pizza cutter. Who's done that before? Anybody? Does that look fun? Okay, and then you can do that with this too. This is if you have just a dreadfully unreliable knife, but you have a very reliable pizza cutter. So this is the parsley and the chives that are going to go into the finished sauce of the chicken, which I'm going to start now. Okay. Pot. Okay, good. I'm going to put it on medium. Everybody fine? Everybody good? Okay. Put it on medium. And I'm going to add some oil, just a teaspoon of oil. Again, this is my favorite oil downstairs. This is a non-GMO canola oil. And so there's nothing, I feel really safe about using this oil. I don't, it doesn't have any flounder genes in it or anything. So this is not in the natural aisle, whatever that means, but over where the cooking oils are is where this is. So, again, you can use olive oil with this too if you like. I just like the clean flavor of this canola oil. Not that one. I want this to heat up too. Let me see if I can get them both in there. Hopefully, yay, okay. Make sure you have your mitt handy at this point. So using a pizza wheel, you can also do your lemons, your lemon peels and stuff like that. Really fun. Now, waiting for this to heat up, and then I'm going to put a teaspoon of flour. This is just a all-purpose flour. And garlic. That much. And I just want to brown the flour just a little bit, not too much. Now, I also, as you notice, there's butter in the recipe, but do I add that now? No. Don't add the butter yet. The butter comes in at the very end. But what goes in here now is the chicken stock. This, again, is what I choose to use because it stores really easy. It's the better than bouillon chicken stock. And it's very intense and it's wonderful. All right, so as you can see, the pot is bubbling in here. The flour is cooked down just a little bit. A little toasty looking. I'm going to start slowly adding the chicken stock. Usually I make a slurry first, which is just a little warm liquid in the flour, and just kind of drizzle that in so I don't have to worry about lumps. But this is looking pretty good. This is like a piccata sauce, if anyone's done ever a piccata. A chicken piccata is pretty much like this, except you add capers at the end. You use sage and you use capers, but this is basically the same sauce as a chicken piccata. Okay, now that's going to bubble away for just a few minutes. I'm going to put these in a couple of cups. Now all of these herbs also have medicinal elements as well. You are so annoying. But I need you, so. And I looked a little bit into the medicinals, but not too much. And I know there's a lot of people use basil as a tea. It's an anti-inflammatory, and it works really, really well. There's a tea downstairs. It's an herbal tea. It's called Tulsi, and it is a basil tea. It's very tasty. So we have sage goes with pork, chicken. Rosemary goes with vegetables. Thyme goes with, and pork. Like I said, it's great to use those as skewers. And then what you do with that, if you're going to use that as a skewer in the pork, then you rub the outside of it with garlic, with minced garlic and salt and pepper, and it's awesome. Thyme goes with, you guys, whenever you guys eat or whatever, come up and take a smell of these. And you can rub them and touch them and smell your fingers, so you can. If you're not familiar with sage or the two different parsleys or the thyme, please just come up and take a whiff. So anyone have any questions about herbs in general? What goes with what? What
did you say thyme went with?
Thyme goes with cheese. It goes with green beans. It goes with most vegetables. Most everything. Most all the herbs go with vegetables. But some are better, have a closer affinity with meats than others.
Well, I want to learn to use them, but I have to know what to use them with.
Yep.
Also goes well with the tomato base.
The basils, yep.
Like spaghetti sauces in the Italian.
Mm-hmm.
Thyme does.
Right. And also, now I have up here these cards, and these cards have recipes on them that have these herbs in them. These cards can be found downstairs. There's a kiosk downstairs in the produce department that have just a ton of different recipes on them. Are anyone here familiar with that kiosk downstairs? You are? Anybody else? Take a look. There's a big book down there right underneath, and it tells you, what herbs go with what. It's a wonderful learning experience. This is bubbling away. Actually, I think what I need to do is I'm going to chop this up just a little bit so everybody gets a taste. This is thickening up nice. I want it just a little bit thicker. This is perfect. Are you guys okay with thighs? I mean, I used to have this one client in Minnesota who only wanted skinless, boneless chicken breast. She didn't want to know there was any animal behind it whatsoever. She just, and that's okay because she was paying me. I was fine. There's a lot of good stuff in this pan too, by the way. Oh, go ahead. Dip away.
I certainly learned a lot of things tonight from you. But my husband has high blood pressure.
Okay.
And in order to cut back on the salt, we can use herbs to add flavor.
Yes.
And cut way back on the salt.
Right.
And he never knows it.
Oh, good.
So don't y'all tell him.
No, okay. Safe with me. Secret safe with me. I'm going to pop these in. I go in for just a few minutes. Well, y'all are welcome to come up and start sniffing if you like and look at what's on the table if that's interesting to you. I also have the flyers for the next couple of classes. The next one's going to be biscuits. Again, a very high carb class that I won't be eating any of, but I know how to make them, so I'm going to do it. Stay. Okay, so this comes off. This comes off the heat. See how nice and bubbly and thick that is? Okay, so it comes off the heat. Off. And then you add your parsley and your chives and your butter. This is salted butter, but you can use unsalted. And then this is awesome. I was so happy to see this. Okay, so what this is, it's lemon juice. It's volcano lemon burst. It's lemon juice. This you get into the natural section of the grocery store. But there's nothing weird in it. There's no preservatives in it. It's just lemon juice. So I was really happy about that. It's distributed by Dream Foods International, Santa Monica, California. It's organic, yay, and it's a product of Italy. So give it a good squirt.
You say produce?
It's in the natural foods aisle. So right now the butter is just melting. I'll finish cutting this up. There seems to be enough for everybody, I think. An hour is just not enough time to show you guys everything I want to show you. That's why I had to come in and make a whole bunch of stuff early today, because I wanted you guys to get all the flavors of the different herbs. But I knew I wasn't going to have time to get them all done. So. Can you smell that? So this is like a nice buttery piccata sauce with parsley and chives.